Hey guys, welcome to Podiatry Practice Mastery. Don here. There's a new book that I'm reading. It's called The Gap and the Gain. It's actually not a new concept. I want to kind of tell you when I first learned about this concept. I probably learned about it when I was reading Tony Robbins years ago. But since I've been in Strategic Coach, this guy named Dan Sullivan, he has this thinking process. And it's kind of an elegant way of thinking about things. You guys probably should just read the book, but I'll try to explain it a little bit. The whole thought is, if you think of where you're at, that's where, like, you are right now, right? And then when you make goals or you set up things for the future, things that you want, that is your goal, or what we call the ideal. And it's kind of like the horizon. This is how Dan explains it. So if you have this ideal, let's say your goal is to have, a full patient load, or let's say you want to have 2 or 3 practices, or let's say you want to have $1 million, or you want to retire when you're 50, or all these other types of goals that you're working towards. Or for me, I want to have like this paid podiatry practice mastery, and I want to help people. And what happens is, when you have that ideal out there, and you measure against it, meaning you're measuring your life against it, it kind of puts you into the thing that he calls the gap, meaning you're kind of never quite good enough. When you compare with others, or you compare with your ideal, you just always feel bad. You just feel like, oh, I'm not good enough, I need to work harder, I need to do more. And it just puts you in what he calls the gap. And the way around that is to measure backwards. And this is something I was never taught. I don't think we're ever taught this in school. So what that means is you measure what he calls the gain. Like, you measure from where you came from to where you're at. Now, this is a very powerful concept. So you can do this, and I think most of our lives we're in this gap. Like, my kids are in the gap all the time, right? Like, if I give them like yogurt for a snack before they go to bed, then they compare, well, my sister has more yogurt than I do, or I want to read all these books, and I read these 2 books, and there's 10 others in the series, and I want them, and I'm in the gap until I get them. That's when I'll be happy. And that way of living is just very it's sad. It's just a sad way of living, and it's taken a long time for me to learn this and to kind of implement this. And this might be for you, and if you want, you could read the book. And so what I tend to do now is I do this with a couple ways. I'll explain what's working for me, and you guys can tell me if you want what's working for you. I do a couple of things. One was within the Strategic Coach framework. We do something called the positive focus, which is basically, you can probably just Google positive focus if you want and find it. But you write down every day. I just do 2 things. Like what was a good thing, or what was something positive of the day, why it was positive, and then building on that, like what's next and what are the first actions for that. Okay, so that's with the positive focus. I'm not going to go too much into detail unless you guys want to hear more about that. The other thing I use is called a gratitude journal, or it's called a 5-minute journal, the gratitude journal, and I get one every 6 months. And basically in there, you prime your brain for what you're grateful for. And I think these are very good tools, and that's where this new book called The Gap and the Gain. But in there, he just goes so much deeper, or at least the understanding with this Benjamin Hardy that's writing it with him is so much deeper. So I would recommend it. It's a good book. I always have something on my Audible when I'm driving. I think you can get it on Audible. If not, you can just buy the book. So it's a great book. I would consider it. And if you guys like more of this stuff, please send me an email at Don@Podiatry Practice Mastery, and let me know. Like, a guy emailed me a question the other day, and I did another podcast on it. Like, if you like these mindset things, I'll give you more of this. If you like more practice management and sales things, I'll give you that. I kind of want to know what you guys are interested in. And also, there's a new section on the membership site on collaboration. So I'm hoping to collaborate with you guys. Go there, check it out, click on it, and give me some of your collaborations for plantar fasciitis, like some things that are working for you, and I can share that with everyone so we all can get better. Okay, guys, great. Have a nice day.